Hello students, today we are going to discuss another important topic of the second unit of the advanced level chemistry syllabus. I think you remember that we have discussed about the hybridization during one of the previous lessons, and today I am going to explain you about the shapes and geometries of molecules as well as ions. This comes under the second competency level of the unit 2 of the new syllabus, advanced level chemistry syllabus. Let us see what are the contents that you are supposed to understand during this lesson. There under 2.2 we discuss about the shapes of covalent and polar covalent molecules and simple ionic groups. Under that, today I am explaining the shapes of molecules or ions using the theory called VSEPR theory. Now, when we consider these molecules as well as ions, we know these are formed by electron pairs, through electron pairs. A covalent bond, as you know, is defined as a shared pair of electrons which is formed by the overlapping of two orbitals, orbitals. Now, when it comes to the shape of a molecule or ion, the shape of a molecule or ion is the arrangement of the atoms of that molecule or ion where the repulsions are minimum, So, that minimum repulsive state or the minimum repulsive arrangement of a particular molecule or ion is the shape that it acquires in the space. When it comes to the three-dimensional space, these molecules will get certain shapes based on the arrangement of their atoms and based on the bonds that they have formed between the atoms and the non-bonding electron pairs. All these electron pairs, that means bonding electron pairs as well as non-bonding electron pairs, they repel each other until they gain the minimum repulsive arrangement. Minimum repulsive in the sense the arrangement where these electron pairs are located or they are present as far as possible. That means they are further away from each other. So, that arrangement is known as the particular shape that particular ion or molecule gains. Now, in this part we are discussing how to predict the shapes of these ions and molecules without getting the experimental evidences, because anyone can measure these bond angles, bond lengths, and thereby the shape of a particular molecule or ion experimentally in a lab, that is by using X-rays. So, using X-ray diffraction methods, anyone can experimentally find the bond angle of a molecule or ion and also these bond lengths. But the problem is, in the school lab, you are not supposed to use, or you cannot use X-rays to measure the bond angles or bond lengths there, Therefore, we should have a particular method to determine or predict the shape of a particular ion or a molecule. This method was developed by few scientists, and I am going to explain the basic idea or the most important parts of this method and the way how the shapes of molecules and ions are determined or predicted using this particular method. So, this is going to be another very important topic, and in the advanced level chemistry paper you are getting MCQ questions from this area and also structured essay type questions. Each year you get certain parts of the structured essay questions, especially question number 1, and at least one MCQ from this part. So, therefore, this is another very important topic. So, we will see how to predict the shapes or the geometries of these molecules and ions. Now, as you can see here, electron pairs surrounding the central atom of a given molecule or ion, they are arranged in a way to keep maximum spatial distance. As I mentioned earlier, maximum spatial distance apart from each other, that means a minimum repulsive arrangement. So, mainly we can identify two kinds of electron pairs surrounding the central atom of a particular species. The first type we can say bonding electron pairs. When it comes to bonding electron pairs, actually there are two types of bonds we know. Bonds formed by the linear overlapping of orbitals, they are actually sigma bonds, and bonds formed by the lateral overlapping or partial overlapping of atomic orbitals, they are known as pi bonds. So, both of these bonds are always present together, that means lateral overlap is always in line with the linear overlap. Therefore, when it comes to bonding electrons, we mainly consider these sigma bonding pairs. That means whether you have one bond or two bonds, that means single bond or double bond or triple bond, that is considered to be one bonding pair or one repulsive unit. Now, bonding electron pairs can be identified, and also we can identify non-bonding electron pairs, or they are known as lone pairs. Bonding electron pairs and non-bonding electron pairs not participating in bonding, they are called lone pairs. So, bond pairs as well as lone pairs, those are the two types of electron pairs we can identify around a particular atom in a molecule or ion. Here, for simple ions and molecules, when you have only one central atom, we derive or we deduce the shape around that particular central atom. Now, lone pairs of electrons, when you consider lone pairs, for example, consider a molecule like water. Water molecule, you have the Lewis structure like this. Now, around oxygen you can see two lone pairs. But these lone pairs, they are bonded or they are connected with one atom. Therefore, the electron cloud of a lone pair that spreads through a larger volume, that occupies a larger spatial volume. In contrast to that, bonding pairs, they are restricted or they are between two atoms. Therefore, the spatial distribution of a bonding pair is somewhat less compared to a lone pair. So, you can see both bonding and lone pairs of electrons of an atom act as repulsive units. They act as repulsive units to keep further away from each other. In multiple bonds, double or triple bonds, they are present between, if multiple bonds are present between atoms, each multiple bond considered as a single repulsive unit, that is considered as one bonding pair in this particular situation. That means, when you consider the shape when you consider the shape, when you are going to deduce the shape, a double bond or triple bond or single bond, they are considered as one repulsive unit, or we can say one bonding pair, because in a double bond you have pi bond and sigma bond. Pi bond is always in the same line of the sigma bond. Triple bond, there are two pi bonds in the same line of the sigma bond. Therefore, in multiple bonds, these pi bonds are always together with a particular sigma bond. Therefore, considering that particular sigma bond is enough in order to get the shape. That is why we consider these multiple bonds as a single repulsive unit. So, what are these repulsive units? Bond pairs and lone pairs. So, when it comes to multiple bonds, they are also considered as a single repulsive unit. Now, each single, double and triple bonds or lone pairs, they are one repulsive unit or one VSE pair unit. VSE pair unit. We will see what is meant by this term, VSE pair. These repulsion units or repulsive units, they are also known as VSE pair pairs. The number of repulsive units surrounding the central atom can clearly be identified using the Lewis structure. If the Lewis structure of a particular ion or molecule is known, that means you definitely know how to draw the Lewis structure of a particular molecule or ion. We have learned that part in one of the previous lessons. Therefore, you can draw the Lewis structure of any given molecule or ion. So, once the Lewis structure is drawn, you can easily work out this. You can easily count the number of VSE pair pairs. VSE pair pairs means number of repulsive units. That means number of lone pairs plus bond pairs. When it comes to bond pairs, when you count the bond pairs, double bonds, triple bonds, single bonds, either double bond or triple bond or single bond is considered, that is considered as one repulsive unit. So, VSE pair pairs can easily be counted, or repulsive units can easily be counted using the Lewis structure drawn. Using the Lewis structure, you can count the number of repulsive units around a particular atom. Number of repulsive units around a particular atom. Now, you can see few examples given here in this one. First example, SO2, sulfur dioxide. You can see the Lewis dot dash structure. Another important point, when it is given Lewis dot dash structure, you have to draw the Lewis structure like this. When you ask to draw Lewis dot dash structure, if you draw the dot cross diagram, that is incorrect, because here it specifies dot dash structure. So, this kind of a structure is expected when it comes to dot dash structure. Shape is not expected here when you draw the Lewis dot dash structure or the Lewis structure, but in your structure dots and dashes must be there, not dot cross diagram, right. So, in this one, for example, around sulfur you can see electron pairs, double bond 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 electron pairs there. Repulsive units or VSE pair pairs, here this double bond, 1 pi bond and sigma bond, here also 1 pi bond and sigma bond. So, 2 sigma bonds and 1 lone pair. So, repulsive units 3, that means VSE pair pairs. VSE pair pairs is actually equals the number of this VSE pair pairs means, or VSE pair units means number of sigma bond pairs plus lone pairs. Sigma bond pairs plus lone pairs. That is what is known as the number of VSE pair pairs or repulsive units. So, here you can see 2 sigma bonds and 1 lone pair. In other words, you can consider this double bond as 1 unit, this double bond as 1 unit. So, 2 units, 2 repulsive units and 1 lone pair another unit. So, altogether 3. This structure you can see total electron pairs around sulfur SOCl2 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But out of these 5, 1 pi bond is there. So, if you subtract 1 there, 4 VSEPR pairs. In this particular case, 6 bond pairs, 6 electron pairs actually. Out of 6, only 3 VSEPR pairs. Out of 6, only 3 VSEPR pairs. This particular example, HCN around carbon, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 electron pairs around the central atom, but 2 pi bonds there, that means 2 VSEPR pairs. In this one, again 4 electron pairs, 2 pi bonds, 2 VSEPR pairs. So, this is the way how you find easily the number of VSEPR pairs, or in other words, number of repulsive units based on the Lewis structure. Based on the Lewis structure, you can easily count the number of repulsive units or VSEPR pairs around any given atom. Now, this VSEPR theory, VSEPR stands for valence shell electron pair repulsion. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. This theory, according to this one, molecules or ions achieve the stability. They achieve the stability by maintaining a maximum distance between the repulsion units. Maximum distance between the repulsion units or repulsive units to get the minimum repulsion forces between them. To get the minimum repulsion forces between them. So, that means they tend to stay away from each other, further from each other until the repulsions are minimum. These VSEPR pairs or repulsive units tend to stay further from each other, away from each other until the repulsions are minimum. That means their distance, they tend to make the distance greater between them, because all are electron pairs, there are repulsions. Whether it is a bond pair or lone pair, they are electron pairs, that means negative charges. So, there are repulsions between these regions with high negative charges. So, that idea is very clear. So, they tend to stay away or maximize the distance, then only they can get a stable arrangement. So, they achieve the stability by maintaining the maximum distance. According to this theory, now repulsions between two bonding electron pairs. Now, there are 2 types of electron pairs. 2 types of electron pairs means 3 types of repulsions. There are 3 types of repulsions. Those 3 types of repulsions we can identify like this. Now, if you consider a simple molecule like water, like this. Now, in this one, you can see around oxygen 2 lone pairs and 2 bonding pairs. Here there are 3 types of repulsions. Repulsions between lone pairs, repulsions between lone pairs and bond pairs, and also repulsions between bond pairs. 3 types of repulsions there. Out of these 3 types of repulsions, the strongest repulsion is a repulsion exerted by 2 lone pairs, or repulsion exerted between lone pairs, because in a lone pair the spatial distribution of the electron density is greater, because it is connected to only one atom. So, repulsions between the lone pairs, they are the strongest. After that, the repulsions between lone pairs and bond pairs. Then the weakest is repulsions between bond pairs. So, you can see this theory clearly states that repulsion between two bonding pairs is the weakest, then repulsion between bonding electron pair and lone pair. Strongest one is repulsion between two lone pairs. That's the strongest repulsion. This is what is mainly stated or mentioned in the VSEPR theory. The distribution of the repulsive units or bonding or lone pairs in the space around the central atom is called the electron pair geometry. When you consider the distribution of the repulsive units, that is called the electron pair geometry. When stating the geometry of a particular molecule or ion, it is necessary to report the bond angles. The word geometry is somewhat a collective term. That means when you consider geometry, you have to give number of information regarding that particular molecule or ion. You need to mention the shape, electron pair geometry or the electron pair arrangement, angles, everything there. That is somewhat a collective term, geometry. But when you say shape of the molecule or ion, it is not necessary to give bond angles and all. It is not necessary for that. Shape, right? Just the shape, the name of that shape can be stated there. But geometry, it is important to report give the bond angles. Shape of a molecule or ion is a shape between atoms bonded through the bond pairs. Here the lone pairs are omitted, but their effect is considered. Now, the main thing you have to understand is the distribution of the repulsive units. These repulsive units are distributed so that their repulsions are minimum. So, if one has an idea what types of distributions are possible, then we can easily deduce the electron pair geometry as well as the shape. Therefore, first thing is you have to draw the Lewis structure, you must know the Lewis structure. Looking at the Lewis structure, around any given atom, most of the cases you are asked to get the shape around central atom. Around any given atom, you can calculate the number of VSEPR pairs. By calculating the number of VSEPR pairs, you can find what type of an arrangement between these VSEPR pairs is possible. So, we are going to discuss those possible electron pair arrangements or the existing electron pair arrangements. Based on that, we are going to discuss what are the possible shapes. When you give the shape of the molecule or ion, it is not necessary to give the bond angle, but when stating the geometry, it is necessary to mention the angle. Therefore, electron pair geometry, shape and geometry of a molecule. Now, electron pair geometry of a particular species, particular molecule or ion, shape of that molecule or ion, and geometry of the molecule or ion. There are three independent parameters. When you say electron pair geometry, that is the arrangement of electron pairs, all the electron pairs, bond pairs as well as lone pairs. That is basically the arrangement of VSEPR pairs, that is the electron pair geometry. When you say shape, we do not consider the lone pairs, but we consider the shape between the atoms in that particular species. When you consider geometry of the molecule or ion, so it contains more information. It gives you more information about the molecule or ion. It gives you the shape, bond angles, all this information will be provided. Right? So, these are three different parameters. Geometry of a molecule associated with the bond angle in Lewis structure representing the shape. Geometry of molecule associated with bond angle in Lewis structure representing the shape. Shape of a molecule represents the Lewis structure in order to illustrate the shape without the bond angle. Shape of the molecule represents a Lewis structure in order to illustrate the shape without the bond angles. Electron pair geometry represents the geometry of the repulsive units. Now, when it comes to the shape of a molecule, it gives you the Lewis structure without the bond angles. specific angle is not stated, but the correct shape is drawn. Electron pair geometry, that represents the geometry between the repulsive units. Repulsive units means lone pairs as well as bond pairs. Now, these are the possible electron pair geometries between these repulsive units. Let us see what are these electron pair geometries one by one. Now, around a particular atom, if there are two repulsive units means either two bond pairs or two lone pairs. So, when there are two, those two will be arranged so that repulsions are minimum. They will be arranged so that repulsions are minimum. That means they will arrange as far as possible. So, when there are two pairs, two bonding pairs or two lone pairs around the atom, they can arrange so that their repulsions are minimum. That means the distance between them is highest. That arrangement is known as the linear arrangement. Right. When there are two electron pairs or two repulsive units around a particular atom, they will be arranged linearly. If both these repulsive units are identical, the angle will be 180. Two repulsive units will be arranged linearly with the angle 180. Now, that can be shown like this. So, around a particular atom, if you consider this black colored one is atom in the middle. So, it is bonded only to two other atoms here like this. Now, in this case, around this one, two VSEPR pairs, let us say there are two bonding pairs. So, they will be arranged like this, linear arrangement. This angle is 180 as shown in this diagram. Angle is 180, that is called the linear arrangement. Linear arrangement, that is the linear arrangement. Now, when you have three VSEPR pairs around a particular atom, they will be arranged so that repulsions are minimum. That arrangement is called the trigonal plane arrangement. That means those three will be arranged in the same plane with minimum repulsions, that means with the highest angle. So, that best arrangement that three electron pairs can arrange is trigonal plane arrangement. If all three pairs are identical, these angles will be 180 as shown here. These angles are 180 if all three are identical. So, that is called the trigonal plane arrangement. Trigonal plane arrangement, that I can show you like this. This trigonal plane arrangement, if you consider now this central one, that this is the central atom of a particular molecule. Now, molecules like BCl3, they exist like this. So, there are three VSEPR pairs around the central atom. So, those three are arranged in an arrangement like this, that is called the trigonal planar arrangement. Trigonal planar arrangement. So, with three VSEPR pairs, the trigonal planar arrangement is possible. When you have four VSEPR pairs, those four will be arranged so that repulsions are minimum. That arrangement is called the tetrahedral arrangement. Tetrahedral arrangement is an arrangement where the central atom is in the center of a tetrahedron. That can be shown like this. If you consider a simple molecule like this, say CH4, around carbon you have 4 VSEPR pairs, all 4 are sigma bonds, no lone pairs, all 4 are identical in CH4. So, carbon atom is there in the middle of a tetrahedron. Now, if you connect all these points, you get a tetrahedron. So, its central atom is there in the middle of a tetrahedron. That is why it is called a tetrahedral arrangement. Tetrahedral arrangement. So, when you have 4 VSEPR pairs or 4 repulsive units, 4 repulsive units or 4 repulsion units, the arrangement will be tetrahedral. The arrangement will be tetrahedral. Now, in this one, these repulsion units are the VSEPR pairs. If you consider a situation where 5 repulsion units there, those 5 will be arranged so that 3 will be in the same plane, the other 2 perpendicular to that plane. This arrangement is known as the trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. Trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. Now, here this one, if you connect these 3 in the plane, you get a triangle, planar triangle, and 2 pyramids, bipyramidal. So, trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. This arrangement is called trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. That can be shown like this. If you consider this model, there you can see around the central atom, you have 5 bonds shown here, 5 bonds with these different directions. That means 5 VSEPR pairs here, trigonal bipyramidal, planar triangle in the middle, trigonal planar bipyramidal. If you connect all these, you will get 2 pyramids there just above and below the plane of this triangle. So, trigonal bipyramidal arrangement is like this. That is called the trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. So, still we do not know whether some of these electron pairs are lone pairs or bond pairs, but whether some of these electron pairs are lone pairs or bond pairs is not known. So, but basically with lone pairs and bond pairs all together, if that number is 5, that arrangement will be achieved by the particular molecule or ion, trigonal bipyramidal arrangement. When you have 6 VSEPR pairs around a particular central atom, they will be arranged like this. This arrangement is known as square bipyramidal or octahedral. Octahedral. All the angles here 90. If all the electron pairs around that are identical, let us say all are bond pairs, then all the angles will be 90. Now, if you can see this model, here this is an example of a molecule like SF6, where you have 6 covalent bonds, 6 covalent bonds here, 6 VSEPR pairs. So, they are arranged octahedrally. So, that electron pair geometry is called the octahedral geometry. Octahedral geometry. Now, these are the different possible electron pair geometries or geometries between the repulsion units based on the number of VSEPR pairs around a particular atom, based on the number of VSEPR pairs around a particular atom. Now, these are known as basic electron pair geometries. These are the basic electron pair geometries: linear, trigonal planar, tetrahedral, trigonal bipyramidal, octahedral. But there are number of other shapes, other geometries which are derived from these basic geometries based on the presence of lone pairs. Based on the presence of lone pairs, we will see what are those derived shapes or derived geometries from these basic electron pair geometries. Now, the way how the shape is determined based on the number of VSEPR pairs, sigma bond pairs and the lone pairs is given here. You can see this first one, VSEPR pairs 2, that linear arrangement I mentioned, Normally when you have two VSEPR pairs, actually both are bond pairs. Otherwise, having one lone pair and one bond pair, you will not get any particular shape. Only one bond then therefore, when you have two VSEPR pairs and if both are bonding pairs, then the shape of that as well as the electron pair geometry will be same. When you have three VSEPR pairs around a particular atom, we know that arrangement is trigonal planar. Arrangement is trigonal planar. But in the trigonal planar arrangement, if all three are sigma bond pairs, if all three are sigma bond pairs, no lone pairs, then shape is also trigonal planar. Shape is also trigonal planar. Examples given like BCl3, SO3, only sigma bond pairs around the central atom, no lone pairs. It is possible that one bonding pair is a lone pair. One pair is a lone pair out of these three. Out of the three VSEPR pairs, if one is a lone pair and two sigma bonding pairs, you will get a shape like this. Now, one is a lone pair. So, when you decide the shape, we do not consider this lone pair, we take the shape between these atoms. Now, you can see between the atoms, this shape is called angular, or we can say bent, or even if you say V shape, they are correct. The shape of this type of a molecular ion is angular or bent, or we can say V shape. So, that is the trigonal planar geometry. Now, in the trigonal planar electron pair geometry, if you have one lone pair, the situation is like this. This is the angular shape. One is a lone pair, angular shape. One is a lone pair, that is the angular shape. The other one, so first one examples I have given CO2, BeCl2. Now, based on the VSEPR pairs, lone pairs, sigma bond pairs, we can easily deduce the shape. Now, in this particular example, 4 VSEPR pairs, electron pair geometry. So, this one electron pair geometry tetrahedral. If all 4 are identical around the central atom, each bond angle will exactly be 109.5. Now, out of these 4 VSEPR pairs, if all are sigma bond pairs, here sigma bond pairs, here lone pairs. If all 4 are sigma bond pairs, the shape of that species is also tetrahedral. Electron pair geometry and shape are equal. Electron pair geometry and shape are identical if the particular central atom does not contain lone pairs. If the particular central atom does not contain lone pairs, the electron pair geometry and the shape are same. Now, for example, CH4, you have a molecule like this. CH4 is a molecule like this, where you do not have lone pairs. CH4 is a molecule like this, no lone pairs, all are sigma bond pairs, so shape is tetrahedral. But out of these 4 VSEPR pairs, if at least one is a lone pair, then we will see what is the shape. If one is a lone pair, it looks like this. If one is a lone pair, it looks like this. So, if you just take the shape between the atoms, now it is like this base is like a triangle, trigonal, now it is like a pyramid. You can see this is called the trigonal pyramidal shape. Between the atoms, this shape is trigonal pyramidal. So, for example, ammonia is a molecule like this. 3 NH bonds on the nitrogen atom, there is a lone pair. So, it is possible that from the tetrahedral geometry or the 4 VSEPR pairs, it is possible to have 2 sigma bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. So, when you have 2 lone pairs, the situation is like this. Now what is the shape? Now when you have two lone pairs, now what is the shape? Now shape is angular, angular or we can say bent. For example, water molecule is like this. So this is a shape there, angular shape. Water molecule is like that. So that basic electron pair geometry tetrahedral, but two lone pairs, two bond pairs, two sigma bond pairs. So shape is angular. Shape between the atoms angular, right? Here the angular shape. So that means you can see that there are two geometries derived from the tetrahedral geometry. When it comes to the trigonal bipyramidal electron pair geometry, trigonal bipyramidal electron pair geometry where you have 5 VSEPR pairs, if all five are sigma bond pairs, as you can see here, the shape is also trigonal bipyramidal. One example, PCl5, where phosphorus atom bonded to 5 chlorine atoms, only 5 sigma bonds, no lone pairs. It is possible to have one lone pair. When you have one lone pair, what is the location of the lone pair? Now that is the problem. Now trigonal bipyramidal geometry is like this. So if the lone pair is located on a position like this in the molecule, if the lone pair is present here, in this particular instance, lone pair bond pair, there are 90-degree angles, 3 90-degree angles there. But we know that lone pair bond pair repulsion is somewhat stronger. Here 3 90-degree angles, but here also bond pair angles 90. So it is not possible. Since lone pair bond pair repulsions are stronger compared to bond pair repulsions, this is not the most stable arrangement for this type of a situation when you have 4 VSEPR pairs and 1 lone pairs. Then the other option is, rather than existing this lone pair in this axial plane, it may exist in the equatorial plane. It is like this. Now in a situation like this, now what is the difference from the previous one? Now you can see this bond pair lone pair angle here about 180. This angle is also about 180. And only one angle with 90, two angles here, but 280 angles. Now in this arrangement, what is the difference from the previous one? In the previous one, that lone pair was there in the axial plane where you got 3 90-degree angles between lone pairs and bond pairs, but in this one 220-degree angles and 290-degree angles. Now in this one, lone pair bond pair repulsion, since that is greater, lone pairs and bond pairs further from each other compared to the previous one, where in the previous one there were 3 90-degree angles. That means lone pairs and bond pairs, 3 of them were closer there. But in this case, this is more stable, that means less repulsions compared to that. So this particular shape is known as seesaw shape. It's like a seesaw shape. So without considering the lone pair, if you get the shape between these atoms, that is seesaw shape. One example I have given, there are number of examples, SF4, XeO2F2, they are examples for these seesaw shape molecules. Now we will see what happens when you have two lone pairs. When there are 2 lone pairs and 3 bonding pairs, again it is possible that these lone pairs to stay in the equatorial plane or axial plane. Now if they are in the axial plane, it is like this. Now in this case you can see 6 90-degree angles. There are 6 90-degree angles So it is not the stable arrangement. The other option is these two lone pairs may exist in the trigonal plane or the plane of this structure. Now in this case you can see lone pair bond pair angles, there are 220 angles and this angle also 120. So this geometry more stable, this geometry is more stable compared to the previous one. So a molecule with this electron pair arrangement has less energy compared to the molecule with the previous electron pair arrangement. Therefore, a molecule when you have 3 sigma bond pairs and 2 lone pairs, the shape will be this. This shape is called the T shape. T shape. That shape is called T shape. I am using these models to represent these lone pairs, but you should understand that this distribution is somewhat 3-dimensional, not like planes like this. Now, the last one given, when you have 3 lone pairs and 2 bonding pairs, the arrangement is like this. When there are 3 lone pairs, those 3 lone pairs will be in the equatorial plane. In the axial plane, there will be 2 bonding pairs. That is the best arrangement that they can have, because then only all 3 bond pairs will be separated by the same angle, and that angle is fairly high. That means they are further away from each other. Right. So this is called the linear arrangement, because if you just neglect or disregard the lone pairs and get the shape around between the atoms, that is linear. So that linear shape will be there. Examples are also given. Now in this one, ICl2 minus, and another example I can give I3 minus. ICl2 minus, I3 minus, those are examples for linear molecules or linear ions with 6 VSEPR pairs, 6 VSEPR pairs, and out of these 6, 3 lone pairs and 2 bonding pairs. Now you can see in this one, trigonal planar geometry, when you have lone pairs, when the lone pair is present here, lone pair in the equatorial plane, then axial bonds there, then lone pair is further away from the other electron pairs. So this is the arrangement when you have one lone pair with one lone pair out of 5 VSEPR pairs. Then when you have 2 lone pairs out of 5 VSEPR pairs, that is T shape, this is seesaw shape. When you have 3 lone pairs, this shape is linear. Right. So here also lone pairs in the equatorial plane and T shape molecule or ion. When one lone pair is there, that lone pair, as I have already explained there, this lone pair cannot exist like this. When lone pair is like this, then what happens is 390-degree lone pair bonding pair repulsions there. So that is not stable. Right. Therefore, this is not the one which exists there. It does not occur. Axial lone pair structures or the arrangements will not occur. Equatorial lone pair arrangements will occur there. Molecule in this one, now this angle, it is nearly 120, but since this is a lone pair, this repulsion is quite greater. Therefore, this lone pair bond pair repulsion is greater than this bond pair repulsions. Therefore, this angle will definitely be less than 120. This angle will be greater than 120, slightly greater than 120 because of the greater repulsion. When there are 6 VSEPR pairs, actually they are arranged octahedrally or square bipyramidal arrangement like this. When you have one, when all 6 are VSEPR, when all 6 are sigma bonding pairs, no lone pairs, the shape of the molecule or ion is also octahedral. when there is one lone pair, that lone pair may occupy any of these positions, any one of these positions, right. Let us say this position, if you get a lone pair, then I can change this. So, you have an arrangement like this. So, this arrangement, it is like square pyramidal, right, square pyramidal arrangement. So, when one lone pair is there, that is square pyramidal. When there are two lone pairs, those two lone pairs will be arranged so that their lone pair repulsion is highest. So, in the opposite sides, these two lone pairs will be arranged. Then you will get an arrangement like this. Two lone pairs will be arranged like this. So, that means that shape is square planar. That means there are two derived shapes from this octahedral shape. In the previous one, from the trigonal bipyramidal geometry, there are three derived shapes: seesaw, T-shape and linear. Those are derived shapes. Now, here two derived shapes, square pyramidal and square planar. Now, this is how square pyramidal shape looks like, and this is how square planar shape looks like. Now, that is the way how we deduce the geometries and we deduce the shapes of ions as well as molecules around their central atoms based on the VSEPR theory. So, when you are asked to deduce the shape, you must mention certain points. We will see what are those points which are required to be mentioned there. Now, if you are asked to deduce the shape around the central atom of these Lewis structures, for example, say SO3, when you draw the Lewis structure, you will get the Lewis structure like this. This is the Lewis structure of SO3. So, I can say around sulfur, number of electron pairs around sulfur, number of electron pairs total number of electron pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number of VSEPR pairs. VSEPR pairs means sigma bonding pairs and lone pairs. That means when you count the VSEPR pairs, these double bonds are considered as one unit. So, 1, 2, 3, 3 VSEPR pairs, no lone pairs. So, lone pairs. Now, according to the VSEPR pairs, you can say electron pair geometry. Electron pair geometry, trigonal planar, number of lone pairs, no lone pairs here. So, shape trigonal planar. So, when you are asked to deduce the shape, you must mention these points: total number of electron pairs, number of VSEPR pairs. This point is not important unless it is asked there. These 4 points must be written. Based on this, you can deduce the shape of a particular molecule or ion. We will take another example very quickly, XeOF4. XeOF4, according to the method, if you draw the Lewis structure, you will get xenon, central atom, four fluorines there, there is a lone pair on xenon. Now, around xenon, I can say total electron pairs total electron pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. VSEPR pairs VSEPR pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because there is 1 5 bond. So, VSEPR pairs 6. Lone pairs. So, what is electron pair geometry? Electron pair geometry octahedral. So, lone pairs 1. So, shape out of 6 VSEPR pairs 1 is a lone pair, that means square pyramidal In this one electron pair geometry, I will just write electron pair geometry is octahedral. Electron pair geometry octahedral. Now, this is the way we deduce the shapes of certain or shapes of given ions as well as molecules around any given atom. Around the particular atom being considered, you have to find these things, that means total electron pairs, number of VSEPR pairs, number of lone pairs, and from that you can get the shape. Okay students, so I hope you got a good understanding about the determination or finding the shapes of molecules and ions based on the VSEPR theory. So, this is another very important topic. This is very important, similar to that previous topic we have discussed, hybridization. Then until we meet from another section, have a pleasant day.